Just
Why, hello, and welcome to issue 705 of Geek in the City Radio, coming to you live from Guardian Games. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Duran.
And I'm your other host, Kaebel Hashtani.
Who's just been doing voice after voice.
It's one of those days.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to do it.
It's just one of those days. Oh my God, I almost went all Limp Bizkit on you.
Let's not go crazy and go into Fred Durst territory.
Yeah.
Let's.
Denise is gone, and it took us exactly 35 seconds to bring up Fred Durst. I don't know why that popped in my head. I never liked that song.
I don't. It's it's all about the he said she said bullshit. So.
Oh man. She's gone for one episode.
What are we going to talk about?
We are going to talk about the Strange New Worlds finale. God damn it, Bex, because you want to break stuff. Not helping.
That's not her job. Have you noticed?
No, I know. We're going to talk about the Strange New Worlds finale. Obviously, there will be spoilers galore on that. So, I mean, if you're listening to this show and you don't watch Strange New Worlds, I don't understand.
As they say on the show and on the Ready Room, red alert, there will be spoilers.
That's right. There shall be these spoilers. And then after beyond that, I don't know. I mean,
I think everyone is accustomed to the fact that when it is just any two of us,
it gets weird.
We get into whatever it is, the two, like if it's you and Denise, then you talk about what you and Denise talk about. When it's me and Denise, we talk about what we talk about.
Right.
And then when it's just you and me, it's all manner of bullshit.
Right. I was going to say, it's just Monty Python quotes.
Oh, yes. All day long.
Singing Finland.
Finland. That RPG, which isn't an RPG, should be coming out, I think, late this year, early next year.
Is that the one like it could be played on its own, but it's meant to fuck with other RPGs?
I think so.
Because I remember that was the point of like Monty Python Flux. Like you could play it on its own, but it was meant to be thrown into other games.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Just to fuck with it.
Monty Python RPG.
What was it?
RPG.
Do you remember? This would have probably been the late 90s, so like Windows 95 era, when they put out Monty Python's Complete Waste of Time, the program you would install on your computer, and they said it was a game, and it had a little game. But basically, once that thing went live, it just screwed with you. Like you'd go to move your mouse cursor and it would go the other direction. And you hear like, nope, I'm not going to do that. It just interfered with everything else you did until you uninstalled it.
Yeah,
that's all it did. It had to
tracks.
Like infuriate like anyone else who wrote code.
Probably.
Because all it did was basically you were willingly infecting yourself with like a Python virus. Like not, you know what I mean? Monty Python virus. Like you were intentionally doing it. It never wiped anything out.
Sure.
But it would make you think it did.
Yeah.
You'd be typing
can't actually do any real damage.
Yeah.
It can only cause annoyance because that won't get you sued.
It was like the precursor to the sanity effect in Eternal Darkness, which is still in my top 10 video games ever made. What I would give for a sequel or even just an expanded remake by now. That game was just fantastic.
Yeah, I never played it. Have heard nothing but good things about it. So
yeah, as your sanity drops, like you'll move your like analog stick one direction and she'll go the other way. There will be parts where like it'll look like it's like doing that bad digitize where like pixels begin to separate. So like her head will begin to separate and she'll go like and then the screen will flash and you're back to normal. Like that's how it handled sanity in the game. And then eventually or lack of, and the one that like gets everyone the first fucking time is the game when your sanity is really low, it goes to the blue screen of death. which doesn't happen on Nintendo, but it goes that, and then like there's like a line of light that comes across after the blue screen goes away. Sorry. And it takes you back to the fucking title screen.
Oh no.
And says start new game, save game. It's just because it doesn't even have continue game. It just has save game or start new game. The continue game, you can't highlight it. And it don't let you do it for like 20 seconds. And then you're just back to the game. And you'll hear your character saying like, this isn't really happening. Like no other game has ever handled sanity as well. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like no one's ever in the top. I mean, I don't want to say no one's ever in top, but no one's topped it yet. Yeah, Norm, I wish Starfield wasn't Xbox. All Bethesda is going to be Xbox exclusive, which sucks.
Let's see. The Monty Python game is called the Co-Curricular Medieval Reenactment Program, not RPG. I don't know when it's set to come out. It does say a role-playing game crossed out. No, it isn't.
Yeah, that tracks too.
Yes. It's coming out from Exalted Funeral. I'm trying to see what their updates say.
Who's Exalted Funeral?
Exalted Funeral. They've been putting out some great stuff. I think the thing that they're most known for right now is Morkborg.
Oh, those guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morkborg.
I need to have someone run a Morkborg because I have the hardback, the original one. Because now there's like the punk version and the future version, and I need someone to run it for me to try it.
I know some people.
So
probably still in this building.
I have mixed feelings. I don't know, and I shouldn't because I never played the game, but it always gives me this vibe. I mean, the game is very gorgeous in like a fucked up, we're all gonna die kind of way. But I've now had a few people explain it to me that it's like the RPG version of like Dark Souls, and I'm like, I don't want to play that. Then I don't want to play a game that is so frustrating I give up. That's people say like that's part of the appeal to Dark Souls, that the combat is so hard that it feels like you accomplished something when you finally beat like a big boss or whatever. And I'm like, I don't play video games for that. I will do a full confession right now. I play the first time through, I play almost every video game on easy because I kind of just want the story. Later on, I'll go back and challenge myself, but that first time through, I just want the story. I don't need this like grinding effect. I just don't want it. It holds no appeal to me.
Yeah, I get that. That's why the majority of the video games that I play are all Lego.
Sure, right.
So I can put them down and pick them back up, and the controls are all the same, so it's fairly easy. The sidebar to that is, if it says Resident Evil, I will play it.
Yes, but you can set the difficulty on that.
Yes, Merrick actually bought me. We still have a PS3. I haven't even upgraded to a PS4. So,
well,
PS3 still works great.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think how far Resident Evil series went on PS3.
So she got me. She's like, I wanted to get you a newer Resident Evil game for the PS3 for your birthday. She got me Resident Evil Revelations, which is, they're like, well, what number is that? I'm like, it's technically not a number. If it fits anywhere, it's Resident Evil 3.5.
Yeah, it runs kind of parallel to Nemesis.
No, not parallel. 2 runs parallel to 3.
Yeah, kind of.
3.5, the reason this is 3.5 is it's Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield, and they're working for a separate organization. It's years after Raccoon City. So it's post Nemesis, but it's also definitely before 4.
4 is like one of the turning moments of that series.
Yeah, it was.
4 is so good.
It is. It's the reason why, like, I have that on GameCube, which is why I still have a GameCube.
Oh shit! Do you want to borrow Eternal Darkness then?
I probably do.
Because that's why I have always kept it. Oh, I better not be losing that in the thing.
Oh.
I will have to check on that.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know you had a GameCube.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, if I dig it up, I'm totally loaning it to you.
Okay. Yeah, those are my two consoles. Is I have a PS3 and a GameCube. We also have Merrick has a Switch, and then she has her Mondo gaming computer, which she's currently smashing Diablo 4 on.
No, not she's not going to be a Baldur's Gate 3?
She never got into Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
She
I
might.
didn't either.
She'll probably pick it up later.
Yeah.
But Diablo has her attention right now.
I tried to get in Diablo. I really did. No disrespect. People I know who love it. It's just not for me.
Yep.
It's just Gauntlet, which I know makes Diablo fans very angry.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Someone told me, like, it's a great RPG. I'm like,
it's Dark Gauntlet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's extra grindy, mean Gauntlet and like sexier.
Yeah.
You know,
like I've watched her play and I've looked at her characters. Her characters are great. She played it in the open beta, so she got special rewards when she bought the game proper, that she got like special things.
Yeah.
So
weirdly, so I've already pre-ordered, I did this months ago, Baldur's Gate 3 for the PS5, because it doesn't come out until I think the first week of September.
Yep.
I don't really need to know, like, the story's pretty basic. It's illithids. Mind Flayer is going Mind Flayer. Okay.
Yep.
Fine. But they're like, but it like delves like stupid deep into D&D lore. And they're like it runs like a campaign. Like, you can throw it off its rails if you want.
Nice.
Weirdly enough, I'm looking forward to spending like 3 hours designing a character. It just sounds like such a nice way to just, because I do that already. My DM D&D Beyond account, like once a week, I just crank out a character that I know I'll never play because I'm a forever DM.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like doing the builds. But I have seen clips of Baldur's Gate 3 that actually gets me excited. And it's not like the ability to like endlessly hump, I guess. Much like a D&D table, you can end up romancing, like, I guess, everyone in your party or whatever.
Yeah, that was already one of the complaints from gamers, is that I do this because this means whiny men.
Right.
That they were accidentally romancing men.
Wah, wah, wah.
When they were male characters. It's like, I was just being friendly. Yep.
Sorry.
And now you have a husband. Mazel tov.
Yeah. I saw, and we'll get to other stuff, whatever. It's the show. I saw a clip today on TikTok that made me kind of like fall in love. I haven't even played it yet, but it had me even more excited to play Baldur's Gate 3. This guy's playing it, and he's like, here's one of the reasons why I love this game. He's like, so just a few minutes ago, my character pissed off that genie over there, and he cast a spell on me. And right now, and he moves the cursor, I'm playing as a wheel of cheese. And he's like, I don't know how long it'll last, but I get to do stuff, cheese things, but I get to like attack. And he just sets himself attack, and the cheese just rolls. He's like, so I'm a wheel of cheese. And I'm like, this sounds amazing.
Great.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm Norm Shapiro's not going to review Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, is that who Benny Shaps is?
I'm guessing. Yeah. I don't see him reviewing that, and also, who cares?
That's the statement I'm going to make, and that is always, please don't give these people your time.
Yeah.
Just don't.
Oh, by the way, Monty Python was supposed to come out October of last year.
No, it comes out the October of this year.
Oh, that's the pre-order date.
The pre-order date, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kickstarter closed last year in November.
Okay.
So, and it fully funded. It has 15,000 backers. It nearly raised $2 million.
All right. I like on their FAQ, they're like, what is Monty Python? The answer is, I'm like, really? That has to be discussed.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
If you're already here asking that question, you've come to the
Wait, do you roll your die in coconuts? I'm going to get it. Who am I kidding? I don't know who I'll play it with because I feel like that's a very...
Well, me.
Right. It's a niche game within a niche demographic to begin with. Like, we are never going to get Denise to play the Monty Python role-playing game.
No.
As much as I love and prefer and work hard to have a gender diverse gaming table, I feel like it brings even better stories, interaction. I do feel like when I put out a who wants to play the Monty Python role-playing game, it's just going to be a sausage fest. It's going to be you. It's going to be Christian. Probably going to be Greg Barrett.
Yeah. I knew who you meant.
Huh?
I knew who you meant.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of Gregs in our lives.
Yes, but we've had a discussion. That Greg is Greg.
Oh, that's right.
The other Gregs are not Gregs.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that Greg is Greg. Rucka, Greg. See, I just said it's just his last name.
Rucka's Rucka.
And Greg Nibbler is Greg Nibbler.
Yeah.
The full name. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. See, Norm, down for playing Monty Python. Of course you are, because you're a dude. Not to say that women do not enjoy Monty Python. That is not what I mean. No. They are out there. Very much so out there.
That is not at all what you're saying. What you are saying is those people within your gaming community already who would also be interested in playing this would be...
All right, so it's going to be 4 dudes plus Bex.
Okay.
Where she can really unleash her inner chaos.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh my God. So I rewatched Barbie and I forgot about like the horse part. And I realized like, oh, that's just full on. This scene is making fun of people who never grew their comedy beyond Monty Python and the Holy Grail. That's that joke. Mm-hmm. I was like, well done. I didn't catch it at first because I've moved beyond that. I still love Last Crusade, Holy Grail. Mm-hmm. Although I would watch the shit out of that mashup, Monty Python and the Last Crusade. That'd be great. Anyway, even though Holy Grail is not their best movie.
No.
It's just not. For me, it's Life of Brian.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it Life of Brian?
It's Life of Brian. Yeah. Life of Brian is that perfect mix between Holy Grail and Meaning of Life. Meaning of Life is just one long sketch show.
I remember watching the Last Temptation of Christ and the Life of Brian in the same year and not understanding why religious fundamentalists in my town were so pissed at the Last Temptation of Christ, but couldn't care less about the Life of Brian. And I'm like, do you understand that this one is actually calling you hypocrites?
Yeah.
And this one is just taking artistic license with parts of your book that you don't know anything about?
Yeah, the Last Temptation of Christ basically just suggests, and the Bible doesn't say this isn't true, that yes, if you, going on the faith and scripture of the New Testament, this is the assumption. Yes, Jesus is the Son of God, also human, living, breathing, biological man who knew he was the Son of God, but also was like, but I'm also a dude with real feelings, you know? So
also, like,
I remember some of my family getting like, were like threatening to like boycott the one theater in our town. He never showed it.
Yeah.
He never carried it on video.
I watched it on home video and I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, the whole thing that everyone was frustrated about is like, it says that Jesus does this. Like, no, that all of that is a fever dream induced by Satan
in the desert.
as part of the temptation.
Yeah, the 3 days he was tempted in the desert.
Like none of that actually happens. It's a depiction of how he was tempted and then still came out on the other side and did everything that they said in the book. Yeah. It's like, what? So what are you actually pissed about? Like, why is this have so much ire, and yet Life of Brian says, by the way, you're all idiots.
Yeah, you're all hypocrites. You claim to follow this person who is like, love everyone.
He dropped his sandal. Poor. He meant for us to walk in his footsteps. Right. Yes. Nope. I get what you're doing. That's great. Keep it up. I watched both of those also after I had left the church and was on the path of, wait a minute. Back up. Everything that I had been taught as a child was made up. Okay. We're starting over. What the fuck is going on?
Right. Yeah. Have you ever watched some of the interviews that the Pythons gave when that movie was coming out? Mm-mm. It's really fascinating to see like very like stuffy British interviewers like calling out like Cleese and Idol, and I'm trying to remember who else was on the interview thing about how like
probably Chapman.
Yeah. About how like it's horribly offensive. You're insulting all these people, like your fellow British who are Christian, blah, blah, and Catholic, blah, 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 blah. But they even bring up like you don't even like speak correctly. And that's Cleese is like, what do you, and the Vaishya version is Cleese is like, what do you mean? He's like, well, there's not the proper gravitas, whatever. And Cleese is basically like, his attitude is basically like, you're talking about, we don't sound like Charlton Heston or fucking, God damn it, who is Lawrence of Arabia?
Peter O'Toole.
He's like, we're not speaking like these, like, and not even Charlton Heston. Who was the prince, the pharaoh? Yul Brynner.
Yep.
So basically, it's like, you're angry that we're not speaking like them about people who existed essentially 2,000 years ago in the Middle East. You're angry that they don't have proper theatrical British voices. That's what you're bent out of shape about. And he's like, do you really think that's how they sounded? He's like, well, that's not what I mean. He's like, no, that's exactly what you mean. Like, basically, Cleese is like, oh, you're angry that our Jesus is not British. You know, yes. This kind of thing.
Yep.
It was so good.
I remember the days when John Cleese could be counted on to say something intelligent.
Yeah. I've gave myself a pact that when I make it to like 80, I'm going to run it past like the younger people in my family and be like, am I still being appropriate or am I just being angry man yells at the clouds? Because then I'll just gladly just shut up. Like I'll unplug everything. Don't, you know what? Just send me a raven. You know, if you want me to come to dinner, write me a message. Just send me, I'll keep whatever the equivalent of like Gmail is, whatever years from now. And be like, look, just invite me to stuff, you know, come to the barbecue, taco night.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not going to send you like, no, whatever. You know what? I probably won't understand it, but they didn't understand the shit I'll just shut up. I'll just enjoy my final years. Just sitting in a chair, watching my Star Trek.
Yep.
Watching my stories. Probably still playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
Probably.
Still telling people, you don't understand eternal darkness. Grandpa, we have like VR stuff now that you just plug into our stems of our brains. You don't know. You don't know what it's like to have to go back to the load screen.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Norm says he suffers no fools. I get it. Like, Cleese picks on everyone, but I don't know. At times, I feel like he should have someone to be like, don't, just stop. That one's not funny. We know what you're going for. It's not funny.
No, it's more that, like, there are stances that he is taking that are very clearly very right of where he and the rest of Python were at one point.
That's true.
Where Idol is very far on the other side on left going, yeah, I don't know.
John, you're being a dick.
Like I fucking love him, but man, he's being a dick.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway,
I'm gonna switch gears on you for a second.
All right, let's do it. That's my switch gears sound.
Kind of to mention a couple different things. One is I went to. We all know that I'm a big fan of Witch Hunt Theater. We've talked about them.
Oh yeah.
So I still have not read into why or asked questions why, but they are leaving town.
Right.
So they were doing 2 last shows. I missed the one that they had back in July, but I did catch one of the performances of The Last Dance, which was this past Friday. I went to a 10:30. 10:30? Yeah, it was a 10:30 showing. 10:30 performance. Which is weird when you go, yeah, I'm going to go participate in a play hosted in a warehouse underneath the Hawthorne Bridge.
Nice.
At 10:30 at night on a Friday. Totally normal.
Not getting stabbed.
No.
Totally not being stabbed.
I actually did not get stabbed. Other people got stabbed. A lot.
All right. Everything's coming out Millhouse.
But I did not get stabbed. Taylor and Company definitely put on another uncomfortable show.
But in the best way, you mean?
In the best way.
Right.
It was the theme for The Last Dance was you were going to a nightclub that was, the hip club to go to, and like you were encouraged to wear club clothes as your attire for the evening. And I feel like the people in attendance outnumbered the cast by maybe one person. So It was a very intimate group.
Yeah. Huh.
And it was then the party where you got invited to and you don't know anyone. And
that sounds like hell.
Yeah. So like that's the kind of discomfort that they like to build into what they're doing. Like I think I got the most out of that because I went by myself.
Right.
Like everyone else kind of had groups and cliques they were with. I'm like, I'm the only single person there. So it was a lot of the themes centered around there was clearly a cult theme. There was time travel involved. Like where characters that you met at the beginning who played very specific roles started to like just change their behavior in subtle ways, and then suddenly they were completely different people, or those people when they were younger, and it acts out a frat boy date rape scene.
Oh,
not the actual rape, but the drugging with what was that?
So if I click show, people can actually see the last comment.
Ha! That's neat.
That's good to remember.
Cool. But the girl is drugged, taken into a room. We think we know what's going to happen. Then they're screaming, and then the guy comes running out because she comes back out with a knife and is awake and not drugged.
Right.
And then both women murder the 2 frat boys.
Good.
And then it goes back to a party, and everyone's dancing again. And then that scene starts to play out again. But one of the frat boys, the one who does the drugging, is like, wait, something's wrong. And so it plays out somewhat differently with the same ending of both of them. They get stabbed again.
Okay.
Scene starts to play out again. And there's like anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes intervals in between this.
Okay.
And each time, like, one of them is clearly aware that something is wrong with time. The other one still is like, dude, bro, here's the drugs. Let's go party. They're like, no, we're going to fucking die.
Right.
We need to do something. No, they just keep dying. They keep getting killed. There is nothing they can do to change their outcome. he tries to change it at one point and ends up murdering his friend. Because they get into a physical fight and he just beats him, and then he gets stabbed by the two women.
As happens.
Yes. And then there are other vignettes that happen that I'm like, I still haven't figured out how all of this meshes together, but man, it was, you've been to witch hunt performances,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
One of the attendees was also, like, I walked up to him like, I think the last time I saw it, he's like, hi, I'm sorry, we don't know each other, but I do know that the last time I saw you, 3 women were eating your entrails. He's like, oh yeah, that was Christmas. Like, yep. Yeah. And then and then before that, you were a ghostly spirit giving us hints in the woods. He's like, yeah. All right.
I do all these things.
Yep. I still didn't catch his name. He was that cast member we met. He was the plant.
Oh, right.
At that.
Who got
the Ghost of Halloween.
Who gets sacrificed, right?
Because that was him joining the troupe. So
right. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's too bad they're moving.
Yeah, I'll dig around and see if I can figure out why and give an update. But it was an entertaining show. It was definitely not how I have ever spent my Friday evening. True to form, when everything was done and everyone dies, they flip on the light, just like all nightclubs, and they're like, "Get out!
We're done."
No, this is not part of the show. Get out!
It's like a late night for them.
Yep, but that's also how, like, when they end something, it's go, get out.
Don't linger and hang out and talk.
Yeah, like the Christmas one that I went to, where they're feasting on the entrails of this guy. Like, it's just 3 women at a table eating guts, and you're like, we should go. This was the end of the play. We should all go. And everyone just kind of gets up and shuffles, grabs their coats, and exits while everyone's just eating at the table. It's like, right. Forgot this is how things end. They're just done.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
So
I'm bummed I never got to go any beyond the Ghosts of Summer one. Just things did not work out.
No,
that's
fair. But that was fun. Weird but fun. I think one of my favorite thing is they had party trick cards.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, every cast member had stacks of cards that they would just give to people, and it had a task that you had to do. Like,
oh, okay.
At one point, my card was, you must exchange this card with the next person you make eye contact with. So that card got passed back to me at least 3 times. There was a card that was the first person that gave me a card was a character named Genevieve, and she's like, start a rumor about Genevieve and tell 3 people.
Wow.
I'm right. Like, cool. I started a rumor and gave it to 3 cast members that Genevieve was essentially a narc. Because I'm like, well, what would cause drama within a cult? That.
Right.
So that was fun. I did enjoy that feature of the
that
play.
Does sound really cool.
Yeah. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I wish I'd have gone to more of them.
Yes.
It's just a bummer. Yeah, I am curious why they're leaving. It's none of our business, I guess.
I just figured someone is moving and they're moving the troupe. Right.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
Don't know. Life happens. And
yeah, it does.
I feel as though that as just in the conversations that we've had with Taylor, I feel like they've got good reception here in town.
Mm-hmm.
But as we were talking about last week with Martin, Portland is a great city for supporting the arts, but it has a lot to learn about being a patron of the arts.
Yes. Town's very good about celebrating its various creative people.
Yep.
But not, yeah.
but you have to put money in those hands
Yeah.
to get the art out there.
Yeah, a lot of this town still operates with the mindset of like they're just happy to do it.
No, they're not.
They're not.
They need to pay rent.
Yeah, I mean they are happy to do it, but they also would be even happier to not worry about living.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I get it. Yeah. Well, let's take a quick little break.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we'll come back with Trek and then maybe just kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Cool.
That.
Yep.
True that.
See here, watch. I can put his quote.
True that.
Portland is great at consuming art, not paying for it.
Yep.
Yeah. So on that note, we will be right back. I have to. Yeah, we're gonna be right back. And we are back. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick.
So what I was saying about that event though is I did like I have taken the lessons I've learned watching other play D&D here, and like the D&D camps that we have going on. So I was the last person to show up at the table. There were 5 people already there. They had their characters in place.
Right.
So I walked up. They're like, "Oh, what do you want to play? You can play anything you want." I'm like, "Cool. What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you? What are you?"
Right.
Got everyone's classes at the table and walked back over. I'm like, "Cool. I need a cleric.
Right.
We have no healers at our table. I need a cleric." It's like, oh. It's like, but don't you want to play? I'm like, no, I want to play what's good for the party.
Yeah.
I know what my role is now. I can sit down at the table and I'm going to play support. I'm going to help people when they need it, and I'm going to give divine inspiration. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a cleric. It's like I don't want to play a cleric. I don't.
Right.
But
for that kind of gaming, it's a smart way to play it that way.
Yeah, that's how you bond with people you don't know. Is show them. It's like I'm interested in playing with the group.
Right.
I am interested in supporting the team member. If there's a there was a paladin, and I'm like, but that's not their focus. Their focus is not healing. Yes, you have healing, but your focus is you go in and you take one for the team. You are the fighter. You are the person that goes to battle.
Right.
We had I think a sorcerer. We had a rogue. We had all of the other things. Though I think my favorite was we had a halfling barbarian.
Just little nugget of rage.
Little nugget of rage that was raised. I forget everything. Essentially, though, they went from halfling size when in battle would become enraged and Hulk out.
Okay.
And they would become something along the size of a firbolg.
Good times.
So it's like, and then you're fighting something that's like, oh shit, we pissed off the halfling. We're dead now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I managed to heal a member of our team right when they needed it so that they didn't get killed the next turn. They're like, cool, thanks. And fucked up a minotaur. Fucked him up good.
Nice.
Yep, just went hammered at him. Like he took an arrow to the knee early. So I was like,
God damn it.
Bam, bam, bam.
It's nothing worse than taking an arrow to the knee.
Nope.
Nothing.
But that's the D&D.
Yeah.
Also, thanks for hanging out, Eric.
Yeah, it was cool. Thanks, buddy. So, all right, the season finale of Strange New Worlds. Holy crap, was that intense. So, no need to do a big recap. They were teasing it for a while that we were going to get the Gorn this season, and boy, howdy did we.
They teased it in the first fucking episode.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they never came back to it. I was like, because I remember okay, here's episode 6. Not Gorn. 7. Not Gorn. 8. Nope. Not Gorn. Oh. And as soon as they announced it, when I realized that the Gorn was the season finale, I'm like, you motherfuckers, you're going to be a to be continued because they've already approved, I think, a season 4 even.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it.
Yep.
All right.
Everything, this is the longest I've ever seen, longest amount of time between the introduction of Chekhov's gun and
that's right.
Someone firing it.
Right. Or not firing it, as we'll get to.
They kind of just picked it up and pointed
it. Yeah. So, yeah, it's the Gorn again. Mm-hmm. On a much larger...
But not Gorn again.
No. By the Gorns. Sorry, that's the name of the episode, by the way.
Yep.
Not Gorn again. Now I'll go off on tangents. So there's a few things that kind of impact the story, but then also don't. There are some characters, and you will have this with any prequel, show, or movie. It's inherent in it. You can't avoid it. There are characters that just have plot protection.
Mm-hmm.
They just do. You know Spock's going to come out of it. Yep. You know Spock, Chapel, Uhura, now Mbenga. Scotty, Mbenga. Una, not necessarily. Because the only time we ever know Una from the original series has already happened in Strange New Worlds.
We don't know.
And Pike.
And Pike. We know what all of their future histories. We know nothing about Una, like you said.
Right.
Ortegas.
La'an.
Yeah, she's already a big fucking mystery, and
I have this weird feeling in my gut that La'an doesn't survive the series. I don't know why. I can't shake that.
That would be a hell of a thing.
And maybe it's me reading into it, but I feel like her last few arcs are like, this is kind of the one that wraps up the rest of her arc. Like she's like kind of opened up a little bit. She's kind of come to terms with who her ancestor is. The Gorn is like her last it's the last Band-Aid to rip off.
Mm-hmm.
And then also the way is it Christina Chang? Christina Chong. Thank you. Chang is a Klingon general.
Yes,
that's right. The way she speaks lately in interviews, and I'm like, and maybe I'm just reading into it, which I very much, that is most likely, but part of me is like, do you know something that we don't know? And like,
of course she does.
Well, of course she does, but yeah, I just feel like I feel like La'an's not going to survive the whole series. I think Ortegas will. And I think part of it is because I feel like when they started the show, Ortegas was not fleshed out as much. And the actor has brought so much of that character that now the writers can't get enough of doing stuff with her.
Yeah.
Because they know that Melissa Navi is just going to run with it.
Yeah.
And not to say that Christina Chong doesn't. But, yeah. So anyway. And we know that... the fuck is Kirk's brother? Sam. We know he lives at least until Operation Annihilate.
Yep.
Until he's killed by flying party barf.
Yep. Flying party barf.
Although we also know that sometime he's going to leave Starfleet because he's just a colonist in that episode, right? Yeah. Which makes sense. I could see it. I could see it like, when his brother gets promoted to captain, he's like, I'm tired of living in my brother's shadow. I'm going to go do something else.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of thing.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, the episode had a lot of tension. Even with characters that have plot immunity, I still found myself being like, are they gonna do something that like requires them to like rebuild Nurse Chapel's brain? Like, I felt like they could still do some damage to characters that have plot armor, but still, make it. Even though I know that Chapel and Spock survive up until fucking undiscovered country. That scene, I was like, oh my God, there's so much tension in this scene. Mm-hmm. Emotionally, physically. And that's just a credit to the writers, the director, and the performers on this show. It's just so strong.
Yep. Like everything surrounding Chapel and her rescue still felt incredibly tense.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, I know she lives, that doesn't help me in this situation. Because she doesn't know it.
Right.
And I think that's what these actors are bringing to it. It's like, yes, these characters survive. You know it. The character doesn't.
Right.
And if you embrace that part of the character that you're playing and go, oh, yeah, no, you're totally right. They don't know that. They don't know that everything has been written for them.
Yeah.
And that is the strength of the actors. Like the writers are clearly know that going into writing the scenes.
Exactly.
And then the actors are doing their jobs by going, okay, I know how to play that.
Yeah.
I know how to put that on screen.
Yeah.
Like we don't know the fate of Marie Battelle.
No,
I still don't. Like at the end of this episode, it's like, well, she's
beamed up and frozen.
It's like, great, you're Schrodinger's cat. we don't know.
Right. Yeah, because her
And-
ship is definitely fucked.
Her ship is gone.
Gone. Yeah.
Yes, because they dropped the rest of it
Right.
onto the Gorn spire.
The scanner inhibitor kind of, yeah, whatever. The technical MacGuffin that gave them a reason to beam down, kind of, or to shuttle down. Also, I love that they just covered that shuttle in like parts. And the look of absolute terror on everyone's face when Ortegas is just fucking free falling through the atmosphere, and she's like, ha, ha, ha.
Yep.
Because Pike's something like, this, are you sure? And she's like, the attitude basically like, this is not the first time I've had to play dead. Like, an attitude of like, which also lets you know that Ortegas was not on the Enterprise during the Klingon War. I don't think they've ever explicitly said that, have they? Because the Enterprise was kept out of the war. That's part of Pike's guilt.
Correct. That is, they have never said it explicitly, but her coming onto the Enterprise is acknowledged in season 1 as a new assignment.
Okay,
her.
That's right.
It's pretty much it's all easily to pick up implicate.
Because of the cast crew proper, it's just Mbenga, Chapel, La'an, and Ortegas that were during the Federation Klingon War.
No, not La'an.
Oh, was she with them the whole time?
No, she was not. I don't know where La'an was assigned to the Enterprise once when Una went missing.
Right.
In that first episode.
Right. She was brought on as
right. So she was reassigned there. We don't know where she came from.
Right. I'm assuming she was involved in the war, though.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't, because she doesn't have the same attitude towards Klingons.
That's true. That makes sense.
Like, she has a adversarial mutual respect for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she can sit down to drink with them.
Good warriors kind of thing.
Yeah. Where that was not where Chapel, Mbenga, or Ortegas was at mentally at all.
Not at all.
And theirs was a friendly Klingon. Friendly. Yeah.
War criminal.
Yeah.
But friendly.
Yep.
It was a very intense episode.
Yeah. I think La'an has always worked security and is always like there's still a lot of her that's a mystery. Just in the same way that Ortegas is a mystery, but Ortegas teases her mystery.
Right.
And La'an plays everything close to the vest.
Right. And just by the virtue of her last name, she becomes a mystery.
Yep.
So yeah, that's part of it. I knew pretty quickly going in that this was definitely going to be a two-parter.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that, but I should have and wished I had.
So I was like, okay, how do they end this?
Yep.
Like, what are they going to do? What I didn't expect, although it made perfect sense when I thought about it afterwards, what I didn't initially expect was the cliffhanger being Pike can't choose.
Yeah.
And that's the ending. The look Anson Mount gives us Pike as basically saying, like, please God, don't make me make this choice. Not again. Because his whole thing is always nobody dies. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to die. Someone he knows is going to die.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on who, depending on his choice. Fight or flee, someone's dying. And that goes to the core of his character. So yeah, it's not the big bombastic cliffhanger. Like, I realize part of it is nostalgia because of my age. To me, the greatest cliffhanger ever is when Riker says fire and it goes dun 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 dun. And you're like, what?
But that's because that one is still great.
It's still great. It's such a good cliffhanger still. Especially when you go back and realize that they weren't sure Patrick Stewart was coming back. There's 2 scripts to Best of Both Worlds Part 2. One with and one without, you know. So yeah, but this is easily in the top 5 of like kind of Trek cliffhangers. Easily. DS9 gets most of them. It's Best of Both Worlds, this Gorn one, and then DS9 ones. Like it's just what they do, you know. Although, the season 2 cliffhanger of Lower Decks was good. That's the one where the captain's arrested for destroying the Packlet homeworld.
Yeah.
That was, for being a cartoon, I was like, holy shit. Like, that's a thing.
Was that also the season they stripped the hull off of the Cerritos?
I think that's how it ends.
Yeah. Because they have to do that to do this massive rescue, and they do it. That was the most stressful episode of that show.
They just stripped her of the hull,
yeah,
and used the force fields to keep everyone from being sucked into space.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like, and Mariner and is basically hanging out the front through the front windscreen screen, going left, more left. No, my left.
Right. Yeah.
Almost gets sucked out, gets saved by Jennifer the Andorian. I still want that story, by the way.
How she's just named Jennifer?
How the fuck do you get what human named Jennifer did what for some Andorian family to get them to go, we shall name our daughter Jennifer after the bravest Starfleet officer we know.
Right.
It's like, what? No, what?
Yeah. I also like that, and we'll go back to Strange Worlds, I promise. I do like that also leads into some of Mariner's character traits, in that by the 3rd time they reference Jennifer and show them together, I'm like, oh, they're going to start dating.
Yes.
Because Mariner is only extra shitty to people she has legitimate feelings for.
Yes.
The meaner she is to you, the closer that she actually, not saying she doesn't like Tendi and everybody else, and I'm not saying that she's ever going to date Boimler, because they're more like siblings.
No, but that is the 100% the reason that she is so shitty to Boimler.
Yeah, because she loves him so much.
Yes.
So when I saw her being like extra nasty to that Andorian, I'm like, yeah, they're going to hook up. They're going to, it may not be a main story element, but you're going to find out they're dating.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what? No, not my girlfriend. Oh, gross. We just do a thing,
Oh, yeah, that was the end of the 2nd season, because they've only had 3 seasons. How has that show only had 3 seasons so
4
far?
starts up in a few weeks.
And fits so much in that. Yeah.
God, can you imagine a quick little snippet of Mariner and Chapel? Just 2 chaos buys going on a date.
Oh, well,
you can imagine Ortegas in the background just shoveling popcorn watching this go down.
We do have the episode...
These old scientists
coming up.
Well, getting back to Stranger World, coming up, because not a damn thing has been written for season 3.
Yeah, I know.
We are at least 2 years out, I bet, from season 3.
Probably.
Maybe a year if the strike ends within the next month, and the writers, I know.
Sorry.
And the writers just buckle down and go for it, which I know writers, they're going to want to.
Yeah.
They want to write their shows so bad.
I also, I laugh, but I laugh not because I think this is funny, because, we have friends who are in the WGA.
Mm-hmm.
And they are being negatively affected by this.
Yeah, we have a friend who had a, major Netflix action movie. Well, we don't have to hide it.
Yeah,
the Heart of Stone.
Yeah, Heart of Stone.
The what's meant to be Gal Gadot's action franchise, Rucka Road. None of them can promote it.
Nope.
They can't say anything. He's the writer on it. He's forbidden from promoting. Gal Gadot cannot promote it as a SAG member. I haven't watched it yet because I don't have Netflix right now, but I'm curious about it. So yeah, I haven't
watched it either.
We have friends that are being, we have many friends. and that are being that will soon be negatively impacted. Like that only lasts so long, and comics only pays so much.
Yep. Yeah, and I've had the talk with Merrick of like, we should figure out some of the things that we want to really watch and power load and get those watched, because I think we're coming up on, okay, we're going to cancel all of our subscriptions.
Yeah.
No one has asked us to do that yet. The WJ has not asked that. The SAG-AFTRA has not asked that.
Mm-hmm.
But when they do, I want to go, cool, done.
Yeah.
Because I want to cancel all of that shit right as soon as they say go, cancel.
Right.
I'll come back to them later. And they all know that, but that's the thing that we as consumers need to tell the studios. It's like, no, we don't stand with you. We stand with them. Pay them.
Yeah. I'm wondering how
pay them.
It'd be so hard to get Americans to do that.
I know.
I know. It's the same reason why a general strike in this country, I truly believe, like a week-long general strike, not only would it just shut the country down, every single thing we have ever fought for, I legit feel like would happen.
Yep.
They would find a way amazingly. Like they fucking put the Patriot Act into effect in 24 hours.
Yep.
Nobody read it. So clearly the Patriot Act was also ready to go.
Yep.
Anyway, a national general strike, I sincerely believe we'd come out of it with, or at least the path towards universal health care, like all the things that would make this country actually enjoyable to live in would happen.
Yep.
Because other countries have had general strikes. It grinds everything to a halt and they get shit done. It gets done.
Yep.
And not to be all like, America, but like you shut down America's economy for the week, you kind of shut down the world for a week. Mm-hmm. You just do.
Yep.
I know China's a powerhouse and they're right up there with us, but it's still.
If they're not getting money from us, they will notice.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to convince so many Americans that this would be good for them.
Well, part of that is because we have spent years telling people that protesting doesn't work, and we focus on the fact that it inconveniences everybody. I can't drive from point A to point D because this protest is going on. It's like, yeah, that's the fucking point.
That's the point of them. It's supposed to disrupt everything.
Yes. Disruption is the point.
Yeah. Anyway, can't go down that road.
Yeah, we can. We can totally go down that road.
No.
But I don't think we need to go further down that road. Everyone who listens knows what our politics are.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that some of them share our politics. And maybe by talking about it, they're like, yeah, fuck that. They're right. And they go talk to other people.
No, I guess
about this thing. Not all the time.
Yeah.
But we're right about this thing.
Yeah. No, I think what I meant by that is that I'll peel back behind the curtain a little bit. The last month or so, I am recognizing all of the early signs when I got super stressed out that led to me going into the hospital.
Aha.
I can feel my body start running that again. And I realized, I know what it is. My life is incredibly stressful right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my best to mitigate that. But the only drawback, honestly, to my J job is that it has me, even though this isn't the point of the position, by default, it is making me more aware of local politics and issues again.
Yeah.
I can't fix that.
No.
I want to. I'm doing the very thing again that my doctor said, you can't do this anymore.
Right.
Unless it directly impacts you and you can make actual things that you can change.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot get worked up anymore.
Nope.
I cannot change the houseless problem in the city.
No.
I cannot change the fentanyl crisis.
No.
I cannot physically remove Rene Gonzalez from the council.
We can try.
But boy, do I love to bully him every chance I get.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally one of my hobbies, is just being an online bully to Rene Gonzalez.
Someone else will get Mingus maps for it. It'll be right.
Yeah, I feel like I can't go after him.
Fair.
But
that's why I said someone else.
Someone else.
Someone else can.
So
someone out there in the internet.
Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say I can't go down that path.
Sure.
Because it's not the smartest thing for me to do. Everyone's like, I'm getting better. Everything. Trust me, but yeah, I just can't let myself get worked up again because it'll start that path all over again, kind of thing. So, yeah, let's finish on Star Trek instead of that note. It's awesome.
It is awesome. It is so awesome. It's going to make us take a week off.
Oh shit, that's right. That's a good way to wrap up the show.
Yeah. In that,
next week,
we will not be live. I think we'll probably put together a mini-sode.
Maybe like afterwards we just record something for fun.
Yeah, I'll bring a thingy.
Okay.
And then we can, throw that up as a little funsy. But our own Denise and I and my partner Merrick are going to go watch Star Trek The Motion Picture, The Director's Cut.
Yes.
At the Hollywood Theater.
Yes. Which makes me think it's going to be... I wonder what they're showing. I wonder if they're showing the one that Paramount did last year.
Oh.
Or if they have just cobbled together the film. I don't know if they're showing in 35 millimeter or if they're just going to be showing like the 4K version. I don't know if it says on there. Because also that kicks off their Star Trek Tuesdays. It's like the last Tuesday of every month. I think they're going to show a Star Trek. So yeah. The thing that's funny is that the director's cut is longer,
yes,
but it flows better. It doesn't feel longer. And none of the jokes like, oh, the motionless picture. Stop it. Knock it off. And again, I've said this many times, the older I get, the more I appreciate the motion picture. Yeah, it's so Gene Roddenberry.
Yeah,
it's so fucking Gene Roddenberry.
It is the longest episode of the original series ever.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Well, because that's what it was anyway.
Yeah.
It's a recobbled pilot of Star Trek Phase 2. I think I'll actually call it The God Thing. Yeah, I'm excited. Hearing that beautiful fucking Jerry Goldsmith score. Oh, I hope we get the overture. As you're walking in, like that 5-minute overture. That's one thing I do love also. I think the DVDs always had it, but that Blu-ray director's cut that I got, you put it in and hit play, and first it's just a black screen playing the overture. Like, that's it. And you'll walk and you're like, is the screen not working? And then it's, oh my God, it's so good. Man, first appearance of the Katinga class.
That was the first appearance of the
Katinga?
Yeah,
the Katinga class is the evolved D7.
Oh, okay.
Our first ridged Klingons with Mark Leonard.
Yep.
It's just so nice.
Bearded McCoy,
baby.
Hippie Spock.
Hippie
Spock.
That's right. Oh, Norm, I hope you're right. Paramount struck some of the 4K restoration to film. That would be amazing. Oh yeah, man, long-haired hippie Spock.
I think the only thing that mars the motion picture at this point
is Decker.
Is
pedo Decker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not that Decker was a pedophile, but what's his
actor?
Is. Yeah.
Yes.
What is his
That's
name?
why you never see Seventh Heaven reruns anywhere anymore.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe like Tubi or Crackle, like one of the free ones, they might have grabbed it, but even,
I don't think anyone's airing that anywhere.
I don't think so. Same with the Cosby Show.
I feel like any network that is showing that is going to be an actual Christian network because they don't care.
Right. Norm, I'd love to see Gene Roddenberry fight L. Ron Hubbard. So here's the thing. First off, I kind of think L. Ron Hubbard would win. because he was kind of a big he was kind of like a fitness dude. Gene Roddenberry hated him.
Shocking.
Hated him. He was like, yeah, no, he's given interviews before. He's like, what do you think about like L. Ron Hubbard's sci-fi? And he's like, he should have just stuck to that instead of. No, Gene Roddenberry is like, he created Scientology on a goof. It's a horrible story idea he couldn't sell, so he made it into a religion.
Yep.
And then Roddenberry, because he's very anti-religion, he's like, like all religions, because that's always his shtick.
I'm going to refrain from comments because they're litigious motherfuckers.
Yes, they are. Very much so. Mm-hmm. And, the last Mission Impossible movie didn't do too great, so Cruise is angry right now, I bet. Anyway, I'm super pumped to watch Star Trek The Motion Picture.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I feel like at least a day before, I'm going to watch The Doomsday Machine.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was never explicitly said in the movie, but that is Decker's kid.
Yes.
That's Commodore Decker's kid. Is Commodore Decker listed as killed or missing at the end of the Doomsday Machine? I'm going to watch that again. When they ask casualties. Because the end of the motion picture, she's like, Uhura's like, Starfleet wants to know how many casualties. And he says 2. And he says, no, list them as missing. Anyway.
I think Commodore Decker is listed as a casualty.
Is he listed as a casualty?
Yeah.
Straight out of hell. I love the Doomsday Machine so much. With the giant windsock.
Mm-hmm. That's a good call. I should do that. I up front, I'm wearing my TOS uniform.
Oh yeah, no. I don't think I have a TOS uniform. I've got a hodgepodge. So like I've got Pike's jacket, but I'm not going to be wearing a jacket. It's going to be hot.
Mm-hmm.
My uniform top is Picard era Starfleet top.
Picard era or TNG era?
Picard,
Picard era.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Star Trek Picard era Starfleet uniforms.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I have one of those, which is cool. But I bet you I could just go find like a cheapo Trek shirt.
I mean,
because I do have my Strange New World boots that I got as a gift.
You bastard.
Oh my god, dude, they're so nice.
Are they comfortable?
They actually are.
Yeah.
I wore them once. I wore them for our grand opening at the visitor center. That's how I dressed up. Because I wore my Trek boots.
It's gonna be 79 degrees next Tuesday.
So that's no jacket.
That's fairly. I mean, considering we've had a week of 100-degree weather, that's not so bad.
I still ain't doing it, man.
Sure. Mine is TOS era.
Mm-hmm.
Because my uniforms are Discovery, Enterprise.
Right, I've got that one.
TOS and TNG.
Right.
Not counting my jackets.
I've got the disco jacket. Then I have Pike's Enterprise. Because I slightly tweaked it for Strange New Worlds, but I have that as a jacket, his uniform. I've got the DS9 jackets, the gray ones. And then my mom and my sister over Christmas pitched in and got me the Strange New Worlds away team.
Nice.
So I might just find a TOS era t-shirt and throw the away team jacket over that.
There you go.
With the boots and do that.
There
that way,
go.
if it gets too hot, I'll just take the jacket off.
There you go.
Whew. So yeah. Oh yeah. Ryan I think he got the Wrath of Khan no, he has a Wrath of Khan outfit. He had it made.
Nice.
Like the actual costume. Because I forgot that Volante has the Wrath of Khan jackets.
Yeah, the Monster Maroon.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, we should wrap it up. So yeah,
Sounds
anyway,
good.
No new show next week.
Yep. We'll be back in September.
That's right. We will be merging with the Creator. Yep, September.
Oh, Lieutenant Leah.
I know.
Okay.
She's Delton, Captain.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we know what that means. Anyway, I am Aaron Duran.
And I'm Kaebel Hashitani.
And we will talk to everybody in 2 weeks. Bye, all.